very important to take into consideration right now that maybe what you've been doing with your writing up to this point, beyond what we've already gone over in the first 5 lessons, may not have been working for you for a variety of reasons. And now you've gotten to the point where you want to write more than at any other time, and you're willing to step over any fears or frustrations or insecurities you've had up to this point. And you're also ready to try a new system. What that means is we need to replace what you've been doing with your writing up to this point on your own, before you tuned into listening to these videos on my method. We need to replace that approach to writing with an approach I can guarantee you will work. What that equates to is replacing an old habit with a new one. To replace an old habit with a new one, you need to be consistent. So a very important part of writing is consistency. And when utilizing this method to write your first book, it's absolutely essential that you write 6 days a week. Now, we're not talking about the rest of your life here, okay? We're talking maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month. 6 days a week. Why? Well, because if you write 5 days a week, let's say you write Monday through Friday, and you take Saturday and Sunday off, I can guarantee you that the following week, it'll take you till Wednesday or Thursday of that week to be able to get back into the same author within state you were in the previous Friday. However, if you write Monday through Saturday, for example, and take Sundays off, you'll be in that same zone state, that same author within state, that following Monday. And quite frankly, either you're in that state or it's a waste of time to write. So what do I mean by the right time? I'm talking about the right amount of time. Minimum of 2 hours a day, 2 consecutive hours, 6 days a week. Why 2 hours a day? I don't know. All I know is there seems to be a magic barrier, a membrane, that if you write 2 hours a day and get on the other side of that 2 hours a day, what you're doing with the writing of your book, the first time using this method, what you're doing becomes permanent. And you don't want to have to relearn this lesson over and over and over again. We want to learn all the lessons on the first book. So from this point forward, you'll be writing up to your highest potential from this point forward. In fact, your second book will be easier and smoother than your first. But that equates to writing 2 hours a day, minimum 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. Now let me give you a little aside on this. I had a very loving nephew of mine who has done great things with his life. He always likes a challenge and likes to do something new. A number of years ago, he decided he wanted to run the Boston Marathon. Well, you just can't fill out a form and jump in and run the marathon. You have to train. You have to qualify. So first thing he had to do was he had to be able to run a marathon. And he did that. Then he had to get his qualifying times down low enough that he qualified for the Boston Marathon. He did that by running so many miles per day initially to be able to run a marathon. And then he had to run the same amount of miles, but faster, to get his time down quick enough to run the Boston Marathon. A book is a marathon. A book is a marathon. Now, from this point forward, he can basically get into any marathon he wants, and training's a lot easier for him because he's already done it. It'll be the same exact thing for you and your writing from this point forward. The first book, we're not only just trying to write a book, we're trying to train, learn a new system. So from this point forward, writing will always be smooth, easy, and fast for you, and you'll always be operating at your highest potential. The key to that is, the key to being able to do that and to make that leap forward, though, is to make use of the right time. The right time being a minimum of 2 hours writing per day while in that author within connected state, 6 days a week over the course of your first book.